What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got some Star Wars news as always, but before we do get into that, remember hit that subscribe, like, and notification bell. Make sure to hit that super button if you are enjoying the content to give some donation to the channel so we can do more things as we get closer to 5,000. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Now, the latest episode of The Acolyte introduced some interesting Star Wars witches of this coven that we did get that has no ties to the Night Sisters of Dathomir. Now, as it turns out, it appears, because again, before I do get into this part, there has been a lot of controversy. I want to start off with saying that with episode 3 and just The Acolyte overall. It's a fact. The fan base has been very divided. The numbers show. Rotten Tomatoes shows the average viewership is at 15%. And just last week before episode 3, the viewership was up. So the biggest question is, who is at fault? Is it necessarily Kathleen Kennedy? Is it necessarily Leslie Headlund? Or is it Dave Filoni? Now, I've heard some of you guys talk about how it's Dave Filoni's fault. And as it turns out, like I was about to say, he actually spoke with the head runner of Leslie Headlund. And he actually said this, or what he told her, she says, is that Dave Filoni very quickly became kind of a mentor of mine in terms of navigating this part of the timeline that would be like both for the Jedi and other Force users. And Headlund even told Star Wars that it was kind of like an aha moment for me when he told me, you know, not all witches are Night Sisters. Now, as this is true, it's not wrong. And again, this is a time that we don't really know much about. So we have to also understand that. And I get that part, that Disney is trying to kind of cover those tracks or those missing gaps of what happened before the prequel trilogy. But I think that everybody's so upset is the fact that Dave Filoni has kind of let The Acolyte get to this point, or Leslie Headlund point, where we're changing things like the Force being called the thread now and different things. Now, again, everything is always going to be different because, again, this is a different time. But if the fan base is divided, what does that tell you? It tells you that something is not going right. And we haven't had a good story. I would say, again, I know everybody did enjoy Andor, but all these other shows that they have spent so much money on have not been very well received, and they haven't really done well with numbers. Now, again, episode 3 was very controversial for a lot of people. Some people it wasn't, and they enjoyed it and they're okay with it. I'm kind of in the middle. I really enjoyed episodes 1 and 2. I think episode 3, I mean, for me, I still need to see what the show has to offer, what more. I mean, I know there's people that are saying that the show is going to get worse. Again, all you could do is hope that it doesn't and it gets better. I just think that overall the storyline, and I think that for me, they had some weak points, and I think one of them, you know, was kind of taking this whole thing of how the two sisters were created, because it kind of makes them as like they're the chosen ones, kind of like how Anakin Skywalker was created and how he was the chosen one. So it's just things like that. It's kind of like you're dipping into the sauce of taking what George Lucas kind of gave us, and then you're calling it your own or saying that it's your own thing. But in reality, it's kind of like mirroring what George did, just in your own version, and they're changing it up. And I think that's what everybody's also upset at, is that they're trying to change what George Lucas had given us, and it's like they're erasing the stuff that he has made canon. But it's like, it doesn't make sense to even do that because it's fine. But again, there is a lot of back and forth, but I think the biggest question is, who is really at fault for letting the fan base get to this point? Is it Kathleen Kennedy? Is it right now Leslie Headlund with this series? Or is it Dave Filoni, who is supposed to be called the savior? I don't know, guys. Let it up in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your theories, and your opinions, or your facts, whatever you want to call it. And I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.